All right, good morning. We've got 5 minutes before the open. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, at least where I'm at, June 28th, 8:25 a.m. I do apologize for all the streaming issues yesterday. I start my day out usually with a picture like this, where I'm looking at analytics and it says excellent condition. And I think, okay, that's great. Awesome. And it deteriorates as the day goes on. So I did download the latest version of OBS, which is what I use. I'll probably be looking into something like Twitch. I'm talking to a guy this Friday who's going to look at my stuff and talk about Discord stuff, and we'll go from there. So I'm sorry about that. Yesterday we had some good price action. There were some good trades, and I was in and out. Luckily, I was able to make those trades. But yeah, we'll move forward. It's iterative, and as I mentioned before, we're working on a logo and an intro video and some more content and all that, as I really think it would be great to just have more people form a little community here and talk about our trades, keep each other accountable, know what we're looking for, manage our emotions, manage ourselves, and move forward. I'm actually going to step away for just a minute, and I'll be right back right around the open or potentially shortly thereafter. So I'll be right back. We'll mark our levels, watch the market, go from there. Back in the nick of time. Here we go, just a few seconds before the open. We'll get into it, start marking some levels. We do have some news coming out at 9 a.m. Central. And again, for anyone who is watching, I do apologize for the issues with streaming yesterday. hopefully we can. I'm working on getting that resolved, so I appreciate your patience. Alrighty. Let's see where we land today. Morning, James P. Morning, Dano. So as per usual, we certainly will mark the first minute of today's price action. I know not last night, but the night before, the high was like 39.48, the overnight high. So I'll be watching that level, paying attention to it. And I'm showing another message yet that it's not receiving enough data for smooth streaming, and that there will be some buffering. So, boy, I'm so sorry about that. I apologize. But I will get it figured out. Just gonna take a few days. Very bullish open. Open at 39.20. 3 minutes later, we find ourselves 25 points higher. Yeah, definitely reaching us, surpassing overnight highs. I would watch overnight highs from looks like Sunday night. I mentioned at 39.48, and let it go from there. Big. Now here's our 5 minute candle. Big move higher on the 5 minute. So down at 20, all the way up here to 47.5 or 47. It's almost a 30-point move on that one right there. So our opening range is quite a bit lower. I've just went ahead and removed the screen. I can see you guys typing. It was distracting me. It just keeps fading out and showing that there's buffering happening. So forgive me if I don't answer any comments or respond to anything. So we find ourselves above the overnight highs here. Here's our opening range, and seems very, very bullish to me. Pull up NASDAQ real quick. So NASDAQ not as high. S&P's put in new highs. NASDAQ is struggling to keep up. So it's good to be mindful of. Let's look at our 5 minute here. So a little bit of a pause by that 48, 39, 48 level. That was Sunday's overnight high. Here's our daily. Got to keep this in context. So we filled this gap, did that on Friday, this big move up here. This is yesterday, consolidating. Had some nice trades in there as it was moving back and forth. And now looks like we're hunting for this gap up here. We do have our news coming out another like 23 minutes or so, 22 minutes. Again, big, strong 5 minute bar just pushed us up. Wondering how much of a retrace we get. So 5 minutes still strong. Putting in our third 5 minute bar. Our second bar, a little bit of a doji, didn't even come down to the overnight high for a retrace. So still looking pretty strong. Let me look at some overnight levels here too. So 15-minute, this was our resistance up here yesterday, right? Opened here, came down hard, hung out here a while, didn't get the breakdown lower, came up here again, sold off, meandered a little bit lower in the overnight session, but held this area here. And so you would think that this area here, the top of the opening range, would serve as some decent support. So the question is then, how aggressive do you want to be regarding trying to buy this and hope that it takes you up higher? That's the question. That's the question that's in my mind, at least. How aggressive do you want to be, and where does price have to go for you to know that you're wrong? Just looking for some levels here. It's interesting to me, though, that NASDAQ is so much weaker than S&P right now. It's worth being mindful of. Let's pull up NASDAQ again real quick, look at it. I'm watching 35 to 32. Got my eye on that area. Getting close to our overnight high here. And here's our first touch down to the overnight high. We still have a little while until we get this new 5-minute bar. Let's see where we retrace to. That really is the question in my mind. How far do we go? Got another about 12 minutes until our news comes out. Came down to about 37.5 there. Bulls trying to buy it back up. Let's see if they resume the party here. So I'm watching this 5 minute, still red, came down to overnight high. Let's see. We've got another 11 minutes until our news comes out. So let's see how high the bulls want to take it up and see how low the bears want to push it down. I was looking to get around involved between 35 and 32.5. We got another 30 seconds until we complete this 5 minute bar, so be interesting to see where we end up here. If I'm looking to get long lower, I'd like to see it, end a little bit lower down here, but that may not happen. And if it doesn't, that's fine. We'll see if the bulls resume the party here. So on that one, for me to get ready for a long to the downside, I would have wanted to see this candle close red and a little bit lower, and then the next candle, somewhere down in here. If it comes down to 35, 32, I don't know if I want to get long there now. So we'll just have to wait and see if something new develops. I still might take the long. I just feel a little differently about it now. And looking at our 5 minute too, I probably should have the 5 minute on the left here. A little bit of a battle zone between 44, kind of this level here, and then like 46. So just stalling out here, a little back and forth. We're about 8 minutes before the news comes out, so anyone who's gotten long, I'm sure they've scaled out some at 39.48, which is where our Sunday night overnight high was. Just took a peek over at NASDAQ there. All right, let's see if the Bulls resume the party here. Strong 15-minute bar. 5 minutes still looking pretty strong. Had the retest to the overnight high. Pushed above it, got above it quickly. 6 minutes until news comes out. Not, I don't know, not looking that strong just yet. Again, anything can change. I mean, you can blink your eye and we can literally be 20 points higher or lower. So it's good to keep in mind what Mark Douglas talks about when he says, hey, as long as you know that anything can happen and something will happen, you will be prepared to trade. If you're not prepared for that, buckle up or look out for the steamroller or don't get hit by the freight train. So it's good to be mindful of that. We have a thesis, right? Sometimes they're correct, sometimes they're incorrect. We test them by putting money on the line. We need to know where we're right. We need to know where we're wrong structurally. Structurally, if I'm long, where does this thing have to go to let me know, like, hey, you're not right, get out of the trade? Structurally, if I'm short, where does price have to go for me to know, like, hey, this isn't a good trade, this isn't working out for you? Don't fall in love, right? Don't care too much about a certain trade after to make it. All right, now looking a little weaker. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point soon we take out this low here. Right, we got our news coming out. gosh, 3.5 minutes away. It's hard to do a trade like, a setup when news is right around the corner. I thought about getting long earlier, considering it. But now if we get down to 35 or 32 with news that could move the market, right? Like, again, anything can happen and something will happen. It has potential to move the market. It has potential to be significant. It doesn't mean it has to be. But with knowing that, more than likely I'll let the news pass, let things shake out, and then see if we get a setup after that. So 44 is the level. I feel like bulls want to keep it above 44. The bears want to see it below 37.5, which would be this overnight high. Again, here's our 5-minute. Retracement down to here. Now, sometimes I do play, it's a 7-8 retracement on the fib. It's usually when we've pushed up, we've got a big move. It doesn't have to be on the open. It can be like any time, but I'm looking for higher volume and I'm looking for more than a 20-point move. And it doesn't have to be all in one bar. This could be 4 or 5, 6 bars where it comes up, pulls back in, and then continues further. So that line corresponds with the top of the opening range. It's actually about 26.5. So I'm watching that level. Also some good support there, here and here. Halfback is right around 35. So this half of the move from here to up here, half of it's right at 35. I was considering doing something at 35 earlier, but again, with news out so close, I'm not going to be as likely. Well, let me watch this 32 though and see what we get here. See if we get any kind of a pop. So we're 1 minute away from this news coming out. Don't have any trades on, don't have any working orders. Let's see what kind of movement we get here. All right, I would assume the economic data has come out. Sometimes it's a little bit late, but seems like numbers would have come out. So again, I mentioned earlier that that 35 to 32 level. Got a little bit of a pop off of that. Bulls aren't out of the woods. Bulls really probably, like I said, want it above like 44. Bears want it below 37.5. Take a quick look at NASDAQ here. A little bit of some mixed signals. NASDAQ not looking that great. Oh, there we go. There's my other one. So down to that 32.5 level. I'm going to snag just 10% here of what I'll allow myself to get into. It's not too much. I'm going to look to add if we come down a little bit lower. All right, I'm in 30% of what I will allow myself to trade. Watching this opening range retest. I really don't want to see this thing get below this level here. So yeah, wanted to see it hold this level. A little bit aggressive on this trade, I'm not going to lie. NASDAQ is not looking great, so that for a minute kind of gives me a little room for pause. All right, so a little bit of confluence there, like I mentioned. Still wanted to see a bit of a pop. So our 7-8 retracement was from here, then 26.5 was the retracement. We also have the opening range retest. So I'm going to see if we can push up a little bit, get a little bit stronger, and then, we'll see what we do from there. For the Bulls to reclaim, Bulls would have to get it above this 37.5. They got to get it up above that. And right now we're just looking quite weak. So at this point, we're looking a bit weaker than I anticipated. And if anything, I would be looking for a pop and an air to get short now, as this trade to the long side really isn't working out that well. I'm not out of it yet, but not looking good. I may pull the plug on it here pretty soon. So this area that could have been support, it's just blown right through it, right? It's pushed right through it. Seeing if we can get a little bit of a pop where I'll scratch this. I don't know if we're going to get it though. I've got my stop placed just a little bit below this area right here. Pretty close to getting stopped out now. All right, I'm stopped out. I'm out of that guy. That's all she wrote. I was in that 140%. I think NASDAQ being so weak, probably a good clue that it just didn't have as high as a probability to push up. So on this one, getting long here, I mentioned that if we got below here, I knew I'd be wrong. And, I'd very well, when we got down here, I was hoping to get a retrace to come back up, scratch it, get out of it. But in this case, getting out here, I thought, well, I don't want this thing to just plunge even lower. So we very well may get a retrace up to here. Just going to watch and observe, let the market show us what it wants to do. Hey, morning, Micah. I had a hunch looking at that, looking at that 5 minute, it spent a lot of time up here, right? Like, tried coming lower, couldn't really get the job done here, pushed down here, and then, well, at that point there was news that was out, but I remember saying that 44, Bulls wanted above 44, came down here, the Bears kept it below that, then we ended up pushing below that overnight level. So, yeah, Bears got it done on that one for sure. So we don't have our initial balance in yet, right? We're like 15 minutes away from first hour trade where we'd have the A period and the B period. So again, on this one, this move lower, this big thrust up and then move lower, just looking for this area to hold, this for support. Wondering if we get a rotational day or just where we'll land. We're 45 minutes, 46 minutes into the trading day, so still have plenty of time to let something develop here. Let's see. Doesn't look that strong to me. Looking at the 5 minute here. Came up, pushed down, hanging out here. I suppose if you were getting short here, you might be wrong, somewhere above like 32. Bob Baker, I am familiar with market profile, A period, B period, naked point of control and all that stuff, singles. I paid attention to that for quite a long time. And for me personally, it was something that just made it a little bit harder to decipher what I was looking for. So I chose to just cut back. I look at the daily, the 15, the 5, and then the 1 minute time frame. And I know Micah in the group here, he really likes market profile. He watches that. But yeah, definitely a good tool. Over the years, I've just realized that for me, watching market movement, less is more. I really believe to a lot of the same stuff that you glean watching candle charts. You can get a good picture of like good levels that you would on market profile. Like some guys that say, man, you gotta watch order flow. You gotta watch order flow. And so looking at the chart on the right, the 1 minute, granted, I'm not seeing every aggressive bid, every aggressive, offer, but I'm seeing the bigger picture as far as like what's going on. So not as granular, zoomed out a little bit more for watching order flow, watching, where there's wicks. Even right here, when we came down to my level here, how we stalled out for 2 minutes, wasn't liking that. So I wasn't watching order flow, but just thought, I'm not getting that pop that I anticipated. We got down here and then we just hung out some more, weren't getting a lot of action. To me, the nuances of watching that 1 minute, it's kind of indicative that, hey, like the buyers don't seem to be stepping in. Again, doesn't mean that they couldn't have, but they just weren't. So watching the 5 minute here, we'll see what we get. See if we hold this level or if we push lower. But I like to watch opening range. This is always important for me. The first minute of trade, really just where we open, the high and the low. And again, 15 minute here on the left, 1 minute on the right. I don't stay glued to the 1 minute. Really, it's a lot more the 5 minute that I watch. But that 1 minute just gives me a little bit more context. So the question now is, if you're short, which I believe the market's going lower, how much lower does it go? What level do we visit? I feel like 07 could be in the cards. We could come down to 07. Maybe we go a lot lower than that, but I think that would at least be a first target. I'm going to pull up NASDAQ real quick. Let's take a peek. Take a look under the hood. NASDAQ quite a bit weaker. All right, we're back to the S&P, our old friend. Here's our 5 minute. Here's the push up Friday, hanging out. first level support was up here at 39.26. We are through that. Push down. Now, next level is going to be down in here. Just looking to see where I'd like to do business. In my mind and on the screens, I'm just going back to yesterday's price action. Just a little recap. Bears seem to be kind of slowing down the tempo a bit now as far as like their ability to be aggressive and just push this thing lower. Just watching the 5 minute here, giving it a little time to set up. Didn't make it down to 07. Got down to about 12 on this low right here, so missed that by about 5 points. Doesn't mean we can't get down to that level, but didn't make it there. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I don't know. All right, A and B period almost up. I know sometimes guys will look for a little pop below the B period, so after the first hour of trade, we've got the first half hour being the A, second half hour being the B. Some guys will look for that C to kind of, poke down in here, then get rejected. It would be same for the upside as well, where you're looking for a little push above, like a little probe out, and then coming back into where it's been hanging out. Just putting some lines in here. So if I take a long somewhere down in here, I feel I'd be wrong below this 98 level. Certainly wrong below this here. So let's watch price action, see what we get. Got another 1 minute until we get a new 5 minute bar, until we go into C period for those watching market profile. I'm mindful though that we do have the overnight low, which could be significant at this 86 level. So I'm just going to let things shake out here and see what we get. All right, seconds away. Here we go. New 5-minute bar. Not really in a hurry here to do anything just yet. Watching NASDAQ. NASDAQ looking like it's, let's see, looking like it might be breaking or very close to yesterday's low. Yeah, so it broke yesterday's low, which to me, that's not a big deal. I feel like it could probe a little bit lower as we're just kind of congesting, like digesting the big move up that we had a few days ago. See if we get that 07 level. We got 07.5 right there. Pretty big move down on the 5-minute bar. So I'm not yet involved. Just watching, trying to be patient, let the market set up, show me what it might want to do. It's never fun taking a loss, but man, I talk about, stops being like your insurance policy. So it wasn't fun, to have it come down, think we're going to move up, and then take a loss and get stopped out here. But, it's one of those things where you look at it and you think, well, I'm glad that I did because we're 20 points lower, right? You could just be in a world of hurt when, for what reason? Why would you want to put yourself in that kind of a position? Because it's not fun to lose. I get it. I understand. I've been there. So pull up the, whoops, go back to ES here. NASDAQ looking kind of weak. So NASDAQ definitely taking out lows from yesterday. I might be getting ready to pull the trigger here. I'm going to watch a little bit longer. Almost got a new 5-minute bar. If I'm getting long here, I don't want to see it get below 97, which again, I'm not long yet. 5-minute bar still closing pretty weak here. So here's where we're looking at there. Just kind of a sea of red, really. So 05 to 07 level. Feel like, there could be something there. I'm going to buy a little bit right here, actually. Not much, it's manageable. Watching this 97.5 level. I know I mentioned that earlier. When I was talking about 07. Still got a while until we put in a new 5-minute bar. So the new one's looking green. It's getting a bit of a pop, but bears are still in control. Targets on this, I'm looking for 15 to 20. NASDAQ kind of helped me have a little bit of confluence on this one, thinking that, thinking that it could hold here around this level. So here's NASDAQ. Really want to see NASDAQ hold this level, this 11, call it 940. And I'd like to see this 5-minute bar firm up a little bit more. So we're getting some kind of, movement here. We've gone just red, 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 green, pull up, little retrace, red, 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 red. We'll watch and see where this one closes. We've got another just over 2 minutes until we put in a new bar here. I'll certainly be watching this 98 to 97.5 level. I feel like that area could have some significance there. So let me just put in a little line. Mindful too that overnight low is there as well. So and we're definitely trending lower. We came up trending lower, but because of this, I'm inclined to think maybe the market could be a little bit rotational, especially looking at the context of the daily chart. Let me pull up the daily. So here's our daily, right? Like we've come way up, coming lower, definitely took that out. So thinking that, maybe we just digest a little bit, not looking for this thing to just run and take off. Although we've got to remember what Mark Douglas says, right? And that's that anything can happen and something will happen. If we keep that in mind, we should function out of a pretty healthy zone. So this 5 minutes looking a little bit better to me. We've got another 40 seconds until this bar on the right, this 5 minutes completed. A lot of business took place in here. So looking for it, I'd like to see it stay between this level on the yellow, and then thinking that, the bulls will have their work cut out for them to try to get it above 20 here. Maybe they get it up to this level. We'll see. Yeah, I like that zone. I like that. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Time frame on this one gonna be a little bit longer. I haven't added any yet to the long side. Want to watch and see what we do around this level. And we've almost got a new 5-minute bar. I'm liking the price action so far. Looking pretty good. Still got another minute till we put in a new 5-minute bar. I'm going to look to buy a little bit more right here. Alright, so at this point I'm in 40% of what I will allow myself to trade. Recognizing that I'm kind of bottom feeding here, trying to look for a low. Not going with the trend, I'm trying to go against it. Looking for it really to get above 07 and hold it. Looking for a pop a bit higher. As I mentioned earlier, this is a trade where just going to have to give it more time to set up and develop. I feel that way because of price action on the 5-minute. If we look at Monday, we were in here a lot of the time. We're just in here hanging out. Value was accepted in these areas. So could be a while, that we meander and then try to get up here to 17 or to 20. Let's look at the 5-minute again. So just how we had kind of somewhat of a line in the sand up here around 44 to 46 that I mentioned. Our new line in the sand looks to be right around like 08 to 07. Keeps coming here. They keep selling it. Had a little bit of a spike here, pushing lower still. So bulls want to see it, I feel, get above that 07 half to like 08 level right here. Watch what they do down here. See how they treat them at 98. Okay, here we're down at 98. I'm going to try to snag a little bit more right here. So even at this level, I'm in 50% of what I will allow myself to trade. Watching the NASDAQ to see if we're getting any bit of confluence for a little bit of a pop here. Not getting much love just yet. Not getting too much love. Got just one more minute till we get a new 5-minute bar. Here's our price action thus far. Kind of wonky, a lot of congestion here. Seeming like we're trying to pop above, but bulls definitely, and I'm one of them, want it above this 08 level. Want it above getting back up into here. So in purchasing down here, I'm asking myself, like, are we at the exhaustion of this move? Is this all that she wrote? NASDAQ still has its work cut out for it. Trying to push a bit higher here. Came down to a pretty good level of support there at NASDAQ. Now we'll see where we end here. Man, dude, I don't want this crap on here. Oh, Micah, my Facebook, it's trying to delete this junk. I just looked over at the chat. It's Jeff Reeb, JEFFREEB. Let's see, I want to report that and hide it. Yeah. Get rid of that. That's junk. Report all this. Add moderator. Remove that. All right, got that done. No problem. Bulls got to make something happen here. Still got a little while yet. So really, in my mind, Bulls got to get above this 08. Not looking great. Not looking great. Again, this is why I'm giving a little bit more time due to the congestion down in this area. And wondering how low they want to take it, right? Like, do they take it and hold this level, or do they blow past 92 and then try to get down to 86 here? Those are good questions. I feel they are, at least. And now I'm watching the 5 minute and looking how we're kind of putting in, a bit of a wedge here, which again, I don't like. It's just showing that this 08 is kind of like a wall. So we come down, come up, come down. Now that's the lower we go, the harder it's gonna be to get above this 08 level. Buying just a little bit more right here. All right, first level for the bulls is this 08. NASDAQ first level of contention for them is going to be around 11,988. I'm going to put a little note right there. Again, watching the 1 minute for some context and nuance. Here's our 5-minute chart. It seems, sometimes trades take a while to develop. A lot of my trades seem to work out pretty quickly. By quickly, I mean within about 10 to 15 minutes, like it's moving in my direction, it's going my way. And usually if it doesn't work out, I get a pretty quick notice as well. Like, hey dude, this isn't working that great. If we pop up a little bit higher, around like 06, I'll look to scale out of a little bit of my position and then look to add if we can come back down a little bit lower. All right, I just sold a little bit right here. Looking for a slight retrace and then try to snag a little bit more. Suppose the spot to sell it would have been like 08, but that's all right. Five-minute bar looking pretty good here now, firming up. NASDAQ still got its work cut out for it in my opinion. Looking for just a little bit of a move lower to add some back. Don't know if we get it. Starting to look a little strong here, but we'll see. I feel like this could be the end of the move. So I'd love to see a little bit of a retrace, pull back in, and then we go ahead and take out that 08. 39.08 level. Don't know if we're going to get it. That retrace, that is. So let's look at our 5-minute now. It's firming up, making sense to me, to what I'm looking for. I want to see a little bit of a pullback, and I'll add some that I scaled out of at 06. Might have been a little bit aggressive on that scale out though, meaning I should have given it another minute. But let's see if we come back in just a little bit. Not asking for much. Bears having a hard time pushing it lower, at least at this spot. 10 o'clock, just turned 10 o'clock. I'm actually going to buy a little bit more right there at 04. Trying to snag a little bit more at like 39.01. Not sure if we get there. So now that we've come down here, and I think the bears are slowing down the cadence, right? Like bears aren't as strong now. Bulls seem to be stepping in, or at least the people who shorted here. I don't know if new bulls are stepping in, but at least the guys who are getting short here and here, they've given up some time. It's come down to this area now, and it's to be determined whether we can't get above 08, whether they hold it strong there and we fail. I'm going to buy a little bit more right here. All right, so I'm just back in the original position that I had. So I scaled some out at 06 and then bought some back about a minute ago, bought a little bit more back right here near 01, and we'll see if we can't hold and then have a continuation higher. But what I was saying is that you would think the guys who got short here and then here, now this is the 5-minute chart, that they've taken some off the table here and then down here. So the question now is this the end of the move lower, or is this just a new battle zone, which I really believe like 08, let me put a little line right there. I've been mentioning that 08 level. 08 down to like 97.5 is a new, just a battle zone. Where the bulls want it above 08, bears want it below 97.5. So let's see what we get. Now too, as I'm looking at this 5-minute, I'll start to watch the 1-minute just a little bit more to try to get some kind of context, try to get a better feel for capitulation of the move to the downside, or resumption of the downside, or trying to get above and push higher. NASDAQ came down to a level and held it, but same deal as the ES. It's got its work cut out for it to get higher. Again, I'm looking for it to get above 08, then looking for somewhere between 15 and 17. Five-minute looking decent here. Oops. I'm going to sell just a tad right here. Not much. Just a very one. It was 1/7 of what I was in. Looking for NASDAQ to try to push a bit higher. I'm going to sell just a little bit more right here as well. Knowing, again, I've been talking about that 08. I'd like to see it get above, but I've scaled in and out, have good enough pricing now to where, want to be prudent, take a little bit off the table. And here's our 5-minute. So just because it's come down here, we've got to realize that anything can happen and something will happen. So it could be that we come down here and then we just spend the whole rest of the day down here. Just because we came down, it doesn't mean that we have to push up higher. Especially when looking at the daily chart. Nothing has to happen. We've got ideas, we get ideas of what could happen, but certainly nothing has to happen. Dude, what's up, man? I'm so sorry, anyone who was watching, for all this trash and this filth on the side. Again, I'm new to the whole streaming and the YouTube thing, so I'm going to hide user on this channel. How about that? Users' messages will be hidden. Hopefully that's it. Dang, I got a lot of messages here. Alright, hopefully that one's deleted, that naked girls, whatever. That is not what this is about. Garbage. Alright, so we got to ask ourselves, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? And at this point, it looks like, you know, the bears are trying to keep control of this thing. They're trying to keep it lower. I'm pleased with the little bit of a scale out I had here, thinking that this 08 could be a level of contention where we're just not able to push above. Let's go back out and look at the 5 minute again. So again, here's our 5 minute, big drive up, come down. Potentially we're kind of rounding out here a bit and then move up higher. We do have some other important levels below us. We've got this, the 92 level. Then we've got the overnight low of 86. Excuse me. I'm still in this one. My average price on this is right at this node right here, 3,950. I've scaled up out of 2/7. I bought a little bit more on the second scale in than I anticipated, so got out around 0.7 up here. So that's where we're at. I'm not looking to do anything right here or to add to my position. I'm just content holding it. I'm in 50% of what I will allow myself to trade, so I'm not in too heavy. Scaling in and out a little bit in this area, trying to see a bit of a push higher, but not getting it yet, not getting much love. Which is okay, I'm not mad. It's the game that I play, right? If you want to get mad, like, go see a counselor. Go get some therapy. But don't get mad on the market, or at the market. The market's just neutral. It just does what it does. Make it do what it do. Market just does what it does, that's all. Plain and simple. Pretty good move off here at this level. So it makes me think that we could, on this move, sometime soon within the next few minutes, if this bar stays strong, that we could come up here, kind of test some new higher areas. But again, bulls want it above this, bears want it below this. Here's our 15 minute over here again. Nasdaq trying to push a bit higher. No, yeah, I don't know how to get rid of these guys. Micah, thanks. Or James B. Yeah, I keep clicking on like trying to remove or hide this user. The user's messages will be hidden. Alright, it says they're supposed to be hidden. Alright, let's watch and see. Let's get back to the charts here. Not dealing with that spammer. I'm going to try to buy a little bit more right here. So at this stage, I'm in 60% of what I will allow myself to trade. Just letting you guys know where I'm at with it. Looking for a bit of a push higher. Not really getting it just yet. But as I mentioned earlier, this is a trade that I feel it just could take a little bit longer to set up and to start paying us what we want it to. Five-minute, just hanging out in that range. So this green bar here didn't really give us what we were searching for, what we were wanting. Sometimes I'll even, to kind of get a feel for like order flow, I might even put little lines within a battle zone. So at this point, drilled in, looking at the micro picture, I'd want to see it get above that 04 level. So within our battle zone, it seems the battle zone is between 08 and 98, but it seems within this area, the bulls are kind of in control when we're above this teal line. Bears seem to be in control when we're below it. Bears trying to take it lower. I'd say they're doing a good job. So our 15-minute, still just red, right? Red, weak. Just moving lower. So at this point, we would have, let's see, I think C period, like D period should be lower than C period. Not looking great order flow wise here on the 1 minute. Here's our 5 minute on the NASDAQ. Just trying to get some love, trying to pop up, but it's just been weak. Bulls want to see it get above this 98 quickly. I'm one of them. That's what I would like to see. $15 looking weak here too. Just come down. I'm going to flatten right here. I'm out. If I want to get long, I'll look for a lower price. So here we had a pop, managed it okay, scaled out of a little bit, added some more down here. This was the move right here where I was expecting to see a push higher. Didn't get it. Held in there for a little bit longer, but then as we came down and then we're staying under that, I thought, nah, I don't want to be involved anymore to the long side. I'm done. Done on that one. Bottom of C was 95. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, here we are at overnight lows there, Micah. But the trend, I mean, the trend is solidly to the downside. We've got a bit of an engulfing day, too. I'm going to be wrapping up here pretty soon in like another 7-8 minutes. Yeah, again, here's our 15-minute, just looking really weak. So just to recap today, 0 for 2 today. Did get long down here. Was looking for a pop to 37, then potential continuation. That didn't happen. I said I'd be wrong if we took out this level. I got out. We were wrong. Came down here quite a bit, like meandered lower, and then looking on the 15-minute chart, was in and out. Maybe it was a little bit premature getting involved here around like 07, and then I scaled it a little bit more. Grabbed some more down here, scaled out of some more. So kind of worked this area well. Was looking for a push up, which would have been nice to kind of take back some losses that I had earlier. That didn't happen. So the scaling out at 07 worked out good. As I lightened up a little bit, added a little bit more right here. And then once we got down here, that was it. I thought, yeah, this thing, it's looking pretty weak. And certainly on the 15-minute here, it's just going lower, lower, lower. It's not foreseeable for me that I'm going to try to get in and snag a low or anything like that, just based on the price action with the daily that we've had. NASDAQ still looking pretty weak. Let's see where it's at. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, NASDAQ testing Fridays, getting close to testing, looks like Friday's open, where we just pushed up. So, and then NASDAQ broke that level too. I was kind of watching NASDAQ lower. It got below that level that I had marked and wasn't getting any response. And so I thought, yeah, it'd be a good time to bail on this. So here we had NASDAQ today, didn't put in a higher high, coming down, looking for these lows, and who knows, maybe NASDAQ's trying to fill the gap today, which that could happen. Now, I shouldn't say I wouldn't get long. If I were in front of the screen longer, watching the ES, if we really had a big capitulation move where we're just cranking lower, one of two things could happen for me. It would be that we're just jamming lower, going lower, lower, lower. I'm looking for a pullback to get involved to the short side. That could certainly happen. Or it could be that we just come down so far, looking for a retrace and a retest, and then look to kind of, get involved to the long side. But that's where we're at for right now. Tech T111. I'm wondering if Tech got involved maybe here. Wondering if he got involved short up here and then rode it a little bit lower, or even up here. Have you taken anything Tech if you're there? Anyone else taking any trades today? Pretty big 15-minute bar here, big down move. Big move down for sure. short from 98. Hey, well done, Micah. That's awesome. Watching it take out C, I would suppose. Yeah, it was looking weak right here. I will be the first to admit that I want to get better at just jumping. I shouldn't say jumping. Getting involved with the trend. So my go-to is fading a move, looking to counter trend. That's just how I operate. But I certainly need to get better at just going with the trend, seeing that it's weak here, pushing lower. I mentioned that 08 was a level, and certainly that 04 bears wanted to keep it below that, which they did. Looks like Micah got involved, 98 short, and he's in it. So well done, man. 39.29. I don't know how to say your name. GT. How about I just call you GT? I think that'd be a little bit easier for me. Micah's looking for 38.62. Yep, remember that. So the pop we had the other day was right at that 60 level. Looking at our 15, news came out and just bam, slammed it up. So Mike, I really like that target at 62. That seems nice. The GT shorting SPY from 39.29. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. It's a good level. Greg. I was gonna try Greg, but I saw the Z's and the R's and the other Z, so that's cool, Greg. Greg GT Greg. Kind of like GT Greg. Well, hopefully the stream. Yeah, it's weird. The stream seems to be doing well now with the screen share and all that. Exactly why? I'm not sure. Hey, that's right, Micah. I was in at 09, but scared myself out. It's all right, dude. Short from 98. That's great, though. Very good. So again, I think knowing your strengths and weaknesses help. The trend days are days that used to just, oh man, if I wasn't involved with it, like if I didn't catch the wave and wasn't going with it, they would just eat my lunch, because I tend to just be an outside-in trader instead of an inside-out. And, you'd move your stop, you'd adjust, you'd average down, and it would just hurt so bad. So the comfort that I take, even though it's not fun having losing days, but again, you just got to view that stop as your insurance policy. Like if I'm trading, if I'm doing anything risky without an insurance policy, that's no good. Like it wouldn't be cool if I was a freaking lion tamer and didn't have a good insurance policy. Either if I'm Joe Exotic and I don't have good insurance, that's no bueno. Especially when you got Carol Baskin in the mix, the government, other tiger crazy people out there. wouldn't be good, right? So trading, it's inherently risky because anything can happen, something will happen, there can be black swan events. With that, we've got to view our stops as our insurance policy that we have in place to protect us from the unforeseen, right? No one puts a trade on thinking, yeah, or at least when you start out, no beginner puts a trade on thinking, well, I'm going to put this on and I could lose. Well, the average beginner thinks like, why would I put a trade on if I think it could lose? I'm convinced it's going to win. So I'm all in, right? It's good to know where you're wrong. And it's good to just use those stops. Let them work for you. Learn how to be a good loser. Don't get married to any one trade. Don't care too much. Know your strengths and your weaknesses. Seems like Micah, you're good at like looking at the trend, picking a level, getting involved, and then letting it ride. That's a great strength, man. That's really good. I applaud you for that. So markets come down, but really doesn't have much elsewhere to go. I think Mike is right and mentioned that 38.62 based on, again, looking at the 5-minute, the pop that we had from the other day, or not the 5-minute, the 15-minute rather. Let me bring the 5-minute up into the screen here. Oops. So back here on Friday, this was the move up. News came out, ran some stops, and just took it way higher. So and that happened right around 60. So yeah, I really like that 62. I think that's nice. I will say, for me at this level, I know I would have scaled out a little bit right here, looking at this area. Kind of looking at this node, I was watching the mid 70s. So not to say that we can't go lower, and I don't want to shake anyone out of a trade, but I know just looking at price action and kind of congestion levels, I'd be at least watching the 75 level, the 76. See what we do there. However, so I say that, but Nasdaq is just flat on its butt. It's really close to the open from Friday, so I think that there's good potential that we still go lower yet. So that's 5-minute. Let me pull the Nasdaq onto the screen here. So here's NASDAQ. Friday's open, really close to it. Seems like it wants to try to get down in here somewhere. Man. I must have a bot or something like that. A bot trying to spam me. But again, here's NASDAQ, just lower, going lower. S&P on the 5-minute now too, looking like it might go ahead and just move lower. Feel like you could short here, you'd be wrong above 80. I'll try to sell a little bit here, hold it against that 80 level. There we go. As I too like that 62 level. NASDAQ on its lows, on its butt. So at this point, I've got my stop just above this 80 level, or actually right at it. Looking to see us just push lower as NASDAQ is continuing to fall, looking just weaker still. Going in here. I'm going to scale just a third right there. So still holding. If you buy 5 contracts at ES, depends on who your broker is, Gene, and it depends on how long you're holding it too. Your margin to hold overnight is going to be a lot higher than if you are, flat at the end of the day. So whoever you're set up with, you'll have to. As far as commissions, usually commissions anywhere usually these days from like $3.50 to maybe $5. Scaling out a little bit more here at 66 and looking for that final target that we mentioned. Yeah, that's good, Micah. Looking for the hunt for 82. I'm sorry, 62, 38, 62. See, like even that, that's a level that I like. It really makes sense. NASDAQ is just going lower. It's closing the gap. We're weaker. It's helpful to just hear what people are thinking. It's looking weak. I can see it's weak. And so thanks for your input on that one, guys. That one is working out nicely. I'm out of 2/3 of it, booked some profits, and just looking for a little bit of a move lower to go ahead and wrap it up. But again, I don't like it's hard for me to just have a fixed number in there and hold out for it. But I think in this case, it is a good number to be looking for. Right on, Micah. That's awesome, dude. And 5 minute too, like we're getting some good, 5 minutes, it's not showing us any reason to abort to get out of this thing. Alright, I'm just holding 1/6 of this thing, so I'm out here at 64. See if we get it. A little bit of a pop. I'm going to flatten right here. It's good enough for me. I like it. Hey, well done. Guys, thanks for the input. That was really nice. Very well done. Appreciate it. The No FOMO team. Well, I've got to wrap it up. Happy trading to you guys. Hopefully the stream was okay today. And like I said, I'm working on having a guy come over here. Friday, he's going to look at it, see if he can help me out with it. But Mike, a great trade. Greg, good one as well. Way to be short. Way to read the market well. All the way from up there. Good job. Man, well done. All right, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do it again.